Fox 56 News and Emerson College released a new poll this week showing where the race stands in Kentucky's U.S. Senate primary, now less than 2 months away. On the Republican side, the poll showed very little movement for businessman Nate Morris and former Attorney General Daniel Cameron. For Congressman Andy Barr, it showed a 4-point increase from last month's Emerson poll, now putting him outside the margin of error. A spokesman for Barr's campaign wrote, "The more Kentucky Republicans learn about Andy Barr, the more they want to send him to the Senate as their America First champion." We did not hear back from Nate Morris's team when we reached out for comment. Daniel Cameron came by the studio to share his thoughts.
In the gubernatorial primary in 2023, about this time, Emerson had a poll as well that showed that I was only leading by 6, and I ended up winning by 20. And so, again, we don't put a lot of stock in the Emerson poll. As I go across the Commonwealth, I feel very strongly and confidently that folks are energized by this campaign.
And here is a look at the matchup on the Democratic side, appearing to be a two-person race between Charles Booker and Amy McGrath. Booker, now up 6 points from the last poll, wrote, "I am humbled, inspired, and absolutely fired up. The momentum we are seeing now is a testament to all the hard work we have done over the years." Andy, I'll start here with you. Looking at those Republican numbers, undecided is still in the lead in both of these races. All candidates have tried to portray themselves as the Trump candidate here. And in that category, and if you look deeper in our polling, Barr performed even stronger, getting 38% support from folks who believe he'll be most supportive of the Trump administration's agenda. Does that tell you anything about where undecideds may be leaning?
Well, I mean, I think undecideds are looking at this and saying, we've got 3 strong candidates at the federal level, so any of them could win in the general. But the big thing with Andy that we've seen is he's been trending upward. He's doing all the right things. They've been raising the money. They've got a great operation over there. Same with Nate Morris. We can't really rule this out and say, well, he's down. Look, there's over a month and a half left. We've seen this in other races around the country, from Ohio out to, Missouri and whatnot. Candidates will be 18 points down. A month and a half in an election cycle isn't quite a lifetime, but it's a good amount of time to change the narrative. I think the big thing that we're going to see across the board is, who's up on television, who's making the voter contact, who's got the door operations and the infrastructure.
Jason, were you surprised by the Democratic results?
No, not even a little bit, because there's so many people who are undecided, right? Two things that are interesting about the Republican and the Democratic side. First, we've been seeing ads for Andy Barr for 3 months now. We've been seeing ads for these Republicans for months, and people are sick and tired of them. I know that because we're going door to door and having conversations with voters, and they're telling us that, right? So they're saying, oh my God, enough with these ads. And the Democrats haven't even started delivering theirs yet. So it's really interesting to hear the pushback that they're getting. I'm watching them. They're race baiting. They're bootlicking. They're not, I don't think, putting the best foot forward of Kentucky and of their candidacies themselves. The positive ads that the candidates are putting out, sure. But some of these PACs that are putting out ads right now are gross. And I think it's turning people off incredibly. On the Democratic side, we have a couple candidates who have run before. So it's not surprising that there are 2 people that are leading the race. The other folks, not run statewide. Pam has run statewide. Colonel Stevenson has run statewide, but doesn't necessarily have the name recognition yet that Amy McGrath or Charles Booker have. But the number of people who are undecided lends itself to what Andy was talking about earlier. People are going to break late, right? We don't start voting here until May, and so there's a ton of time for people to get up on TV, make their case, and do so in a way that's going to make the voters that come out and vote for them proud.
Given the strategies that you're seeing on the GOP side, what would you very quickly suggest or advise to some of those Democratic candidates, maybe the best talking points for them?
Yeah, they need to be authentic to themselves, right? They need to talk about who they are, what they believe, and why they believe it. And when they do that, they wind up building a coalition of people that share their values, and also are seeing that they're recognizing the issues that Kentuckians are facing, right? And seeing that they have a plan to bring people together in order to address them, to move our state and our country forward. Not necessarily something that's throwing bombs at each other, because I do not believe at all that motivates voters to go out and vote. Instead, it turns them off.
Got about a minute left here, Andy. Do you think a Trump endorsement would make a difference at this point, given where folks are polling right now on that support, especially given the fact that Trump could have endorsed in this race, like he was up at that North Kentucky rally, all 3 candidates were there. Do you think the association is already baked in with voters?
President Trump gave a shout out to all three major candidates at that rally, and I think all three have been using that to their benefit. Still, across the board, statewide, President Trump is very popular here in Kentucky, so I do think that it will help. And if you look at how he's trending with those endorsements, it's coming about a month and a half out from Election Day. So there's still ample opportunity for the president to endorse. I do think it'll help. It definitely helps with primary voters. It energizes the base, and when you see a 34% undecided percentage, I mean, those might be the voters that are, with the president 100%, and that might tilt them towards a different candidate.
We'll see what happens. Election Day is May 19th. All right, gentlemen.